Hi everyone, so my name's Emma Darcy. I am Director of Technology for Learning at a secondary school in Luton called Denbigh High School. I also work part-time as a consultant supporting schools and multi-academy trusts with AI and digital strategy. But today what I'm going to do is give you 5 quick hints and tips about how you can approach the technology in your school and look at being more sustainable. So the first thing that I'm going to say is that you need to track and monitor your energy consumption. I know it sounds really obvious, but how much, for example, energy is being used by those desktop PCs that you leave on overnight, or those interactive whiteboards that are left on, or projectors. It can be quite difficult to know where to start with monitoring something like this, so I would definitely recommend talking to people like the UK Schools Sustainability Network, because they can give you lots of advice in this area. Now, the second thing that I'm going to say is think about the actual devices themselves that you use. So, for example, what is the lifespan of the technology that you're putting in your school? Can you extend the lifespan of it? There was a report out from Google today that said 40 laptops go end of life every second in the UK. Now, just think about the number of devices that means are going into landfill. Think about the devices you use. Can you extend their lifetime? Can you use something like Chrome OS Flex to take old laptops and give them a new lease of life? But what you don't want to be doing is obviously putting devices into the hands of your students and your staff that need to be replaced every couple of years. So do have a look at the lifespan of those sorts of things. My third tip is going to be talking about AI, because obviously we're all using AI now. And what I'm not saying to you is don't use AI, but what I am going to say is, have you thought about approaching the use of AI sustainably? And what I mean by that is almost approaching it in the same way that we look at plastic bottles. Do you use them once and then throw them away, or do you give them a second lease of life? If you're creating a prompt, if you're creating a resource using AI, can you share that with someone else? Can you stop them from having to do the same bit of work you've just done by sharing that particular piece of information? Obviously, we're only going to be using more and more AI over the coming years, and that is going to have a really big environmental impact potentially. So it's definitely worth starting to think now about the impact of AI each time we use it with both staff and with students. And talking about our students, obviously it's incredibly important to teach them the link between our use of technology and the impact on the environment. And in my experience, often our young people are incredibly proactive in this area. This is very much the world they're going to be growing up in. And they have concerns, they have climate anxiety about global warming and some of the challenges that we're already facing. Now, the interim curriculum review has said that, again, we're going to need to be teaching more about things like sustainability, impact on the environment, future technologies. So you can get ahead of the game with this now. I know we have a really packed curriculum. It's difficult to know where to fit something like this in, you know, whether you're in primary or secondary. But I've often spoken about organisations such as Apps for Good, which I'm a trustee for, which offer ready-made courses for schools that allow you to support young people with learning about technology and how technology can actually have a positive impact on the environment as opposed to a negative one. There are also programs like Design for SDGs, where again, young people, much as like with Apps for Good, can feel really empowered and that actually they're using technology to make a positive difference, and also changing their mindset with regards to how they're going to use technology in the future. So I definitely recommend checking out both of those organisations. And then the final thing that I'm going to say, and it's ironic because obviously I'm sat here talking to you on a screen, is this idea about really encouraging with both staff and students a connection with the outside, with putting screens down and actually getting out into the environment. Now, I know that can sometimes be difficult if you're a school that's in the middle of a town, for example, and you don't have a lot of outside space, but it's possible to obviously create an area of biodiversity even in the smallest space within a school environment. We're all spending a lot of time with our screens, we're all spending a lot of time online, we're spending a lot of time using tools like AI. And again, when we talk about what it means to be human, one of the things that is really important is to really work on that idea of all your senses, your connection with the environment, with the outside world. And if we don't take time away from the screens and actually get out there and experience that for ourselves, then obviously it's going to be harder to teach our young people about that. So those are my 5 hints and tips. I hope that they're useful.